Welcome to Cosmic Imprint, a podcast bringing you weekly goodness as the home of lightworkers, new paradigm leaders, sensitive souls, magical beings, spiritual seekers and both spiritual CEOs alike, who are ready to live life in alignment with your own soul's truth and who are here to buck the trends, color outside the lines, thriving in this lifetime's incarnation. Join me each week for conversations about all things human design, weaving my own soul magic where I'll share my intuitive gifts, love of all things metaphysical, manifestation, mindset, fifth dimension, spirit guides, light beings, and beyond. Let's explore your cosmic imprint together. Oh, hello, gorgeous goddess. Welcome to this episode of Cosmic Imprint. Hey, it's Rose here, and I am so delighted, as always, that you are here with me, sharing space in this beautiful podcast land. And today's episode, I am really excited to share with you a little snippet from Abundant as Fuck, my free training all about human design, mindset, embodiment, cultivating and curating containers within your soul calling work, all the ways that you can align with your soul blueprint, your human design, just your cosmic activations to be thriving in your most abundant self and abundant soul calling business. This event that these sessions were recorded as part of and are now a free, complete, comprehensive, over 6 hours of training resources for you was just an absolute honor and pleasure to share. And you can find the link if you want to go deeper with this episode. Today, I am sharing a snippet where I am talking about the importance of embodiment within our soul calling work. And this session leads into a really in-depth discussion about embodiment practices with our human design and the importance of that as spiritual entrepreneurs, soulpreneurs, intuitive leaders. And if you want to keep going into this training, make sure to jump on the link in the show notes for Abundant as Fuck, and you'll get access to the whole beautiful, comprehensive cosmicness of this program. It should really be a paid course, a paid investment, but for now it is completely free for you to use. So you can hop on the link. And I also have another super exciting little bit of an announcement to make before we get on into the juiciness of this episode. That in case you've been following me on social media, if you've been around my email list, you will know the cat's out of the metaphorical bag. I have a brand new membership that has just opened its doors for the very first time. And honestly, it just is such a wildly incredible, delicious space. The women who are in this membership are, honestly, my mind is blown every single day about how amazing the women are, the goddesses are who are in this space already, the power they hold. So if you are looking for something to support you in this process of embodying your human design, learning more about how to integrate your human design astrology gene keys into your soul calling work, looking for support around manifestation, mindset practices, just simply wanting a beautiful, environment where you are surrounded by other women who are on a similar journey to you as soulpreneurs, as intuitive leaders, as women just absolutely slaying the game when it comes to spiritual entrepreneurship. This is my absolutely just heart open, cracked wide invitation to you to come and join Cosmic Imprint Coven membership. It is just, honestly, we have only just begun with the Pisces new moon was our official first session and time together, and it is just already the vibe is just incredible, and it is only going to keep on expanding and growing from there as new resources come in week by week. There is just so much that you get as part of this membership. It's $37 a month. Honestly, it is the most accessible way to tap into my magic if you love working with me, and to be supported by other people, as I say, who are on that same wavelength, on that same vibe as you. It is a beautiful, nourishing space. And as part of your membership, you receive access to each lunar cycle. You get access to new moon manifestation sessions, full moon manifestation and release sessions. We also have every lunar cycle there is a specific soulpreneur business related training transmission, which is going to be human design focused with weaving in astrology and gene keys as well. There's weekly tappings or emotional freedom technique coming in that works with and aligns with transits that are going on, so we can tap into the cosmic goodness going on around us, as above, so below, as within, so without, right? You'll hear me say that all the time. And you also receive access to guided meditations that I will be sharing as they come through for me, sound bath recordings. It's a whole vibe. It is a whole vibe. As I've had many women DM me in the past week since the doors opened to come and join the membership, the common thread has just been, holy shit, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. So I felt called to come and share that in this space. The link to come and join is in the show notes with this episode. It would be an absolute honor to have you join. There is no minimum requirement to come and use it for as long as you feel called to. Feel free, like women in my world know, you can come in, you can do the thing, you can be nourished and supported when it feels aligned for you. You can use it as much or as little as you need throughout each week, each month, each lunar cycle even. There's no obligation to be there for a certain period of time. You can come and go as you like. And that just is something that I'm so passionate about, being able to facilitate a space where this is to support you, right? This is to support you in your soul calling work. It's not about locking you into something that is, maybe you need to take a pause from and then come back to. Whatever the vibe is for you, this is what I, deeply desire to curate within my spaces. Also, this doesn't add something extra to your week. This is something that you can come in and use on a time frame and schedule and at a cadence and a pace that works for you within your soul calling work. So as I say, $37 a month. If you want to come and be part of the party, link is in the show notes. And also just to let you know that the doors will be open until the 18th of March at the time that I'm recording this. We've just what date is this episode going to be going out on? The 4th of March. So you have a little bit more time if you're emotional authority, if you're a sounding board authority, if you have lunar authority, you need that bit more time to consider things. There's plenty of time for you still to make your decision, but just know that the doors will be closing on the 18th of March. And I'm not sure yet when they're going to be reopening, because my intention with this space is to really just fucking show up and love on and serve the women in this space so beautifully. So if it feels like it's nudging at you, tingling in your, in your waters, feeling that intuitive, like, oh, this seems all kinds of sparkly, make sure to come and check it out. Make sure to come and get yourself in on the membership. And I just love you so much. And I hope you enjoy this little dive into talking about the importance of embodiment and working with your human design around embodiment practices. I love you so much, and I cannot wait to see you very, very soon, my darling. Hello, gorgeous goddess. Welcome to this transmission number 2 in the Abundant as Fuck event series. This session is all about embodiment for your human design, your soul blueprint within your soulpreneur business and your just beautiful abundant life. I am fucking excited to dive into this with you, and I hope that you have had just the most incredible aha moments and takeaways from session 1, the mindset piece. And now we're going to go even further with that into embodiment. So let's get started and dive on in. At the end of the day, knowing your human design, strategy, and authority is one thing, right? However, actually embodying your human design is where the abundance begins to fucking flow, because you are actually embodying the processes, the experiment, the lived experience that is so completely crucial to just the human design modality, right? It is always spoken about as an experiment, and it's something that with my soul clients I work with through our programs that they go through within my world, we talk about how it is a lived experiment. It is a lived experience. It's not just something you conceptually understand and then put away in a drawer and forget about, right? It only really begins to open up just so much magic when it's the actual embodiment of that process. So in our previous session, we covered mindset, the mindset piece for your human design energy type, your strategy, your authority as well, plus the mindset pieces for you to bring in throughout your daily rhythms, whether that is routine for you or whether that is more of a rhythm and ritual for you in your life. We talked about some tangible, actual, practical mindset practices and to bring that into something that you cultivate and work on that mindset every day, because that is, you know, we much like embodiment is a lived experience, right? Our mindset work is not something we just do once and then expect to see these, you know, miraculous things unfold, because the universe is sitting there going, are you taking action? How's that law of action piece going, right? So, you know, we always hear about in you know, many spaces and, you know, particularly within spirituality and self-development world, the talk of the law of attraction, right? But there are 12 universal laws and the law of action is one of them. And that's why, you know, with what we're talking about here in terms of, you know, in the previous session, mindset, and in this session, embodiment, and in the following session, the containership and creating those frameworks is the law of action and the fact that the universe is, you know, working to co-create with you at all times, but just sitting on your couch reading a book is giving you knowledge, it's expanding you in some way, but it's got to go beyond the page, right? Or podcast earbuds, right? So what we're going to cover in this transmission, this second transmission as part of Abundant as Fuck, is we are going to dive into embodiment for your human design. We are going to look at the practical and proven ways to embody that human design of yours, that soul blueprint of yours, and to integrate those gifts that you have come here with throughout your soulpreneur business, but also your life as well. Because remember, as soulpreneurs, these things are so intertwined and enmeshed with each other. They are not just a separate entity. We don't just go to work and do our soulpreneur job and then go home, right? We are living and breathing and embodying this work all the time. And it just so happens that we get to be abundant as fuck and do the thing in terms of what we actually receive abundance for, right? Which is the beauty of this. And at the end of the day, it's what we all should be doing, right, as humans, but we are working through some heavy conditioning from centuries gone by around what it means to work and what it means to receive energetic transactions in terms of money and time and all these things in return for the soul work that we do. So let's just for a moment talk about something that I see so often within the online coaching space. I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee, decaf coffee. Caffeine and me have had a little bit of a much needed separation of late. Don't know about you. But anyway, so much of what I see being especially that 6-2 mental projector life, right? In the online coaching space is a deep need for embodiment. All too often you will see coaches create offers that either sound too good to be true, promise these super like miraculous results, And ultimately, like when the rubber hits the road and the real life, like real deal of it all, is that maybe that person had a quick win themselves in their life, and then they've built something to serve others off the back of that, or there just isn't any embodiment there, and it's just taking knowledge that maybe they have learned from a mentor or a course or a program that they've been through, and then they've repackaged it with their own flavor and now sharing that, but they've missed that middle step of the actual living it and embodying it. It's just passing on knowledge or concepts, but without the embodiment to actually live it themselves and to work through it in their own soul blueprint. Because remember as well, like everyone's human design is unique. So someone who is teaching a concept is going to resonate with that on a frequency that is unique to them, and they are going to embody that on a frequency that is unique to them, and then so on and so forth as it transfers through the collective or through their community, the people who learn from them. Everyone is going to interact with this frequency and this resonance in a different way, and we only know how it's going to truly look and feel for us when we actually do the damn thing, right? We can sit there talking about the concepts as much as we like, but unless we're actually embodying it, there isn't that deeper cellular resonance and understanding of what it actually means to live and breathe this. So, I don't think in most cases this is being done with any sort of malice or ill intent. I think it just genuinely, I think that it's the trickle down of kind of the almost like the bro marketing approach, right? That's been so prevalent online and in the past decade, that has really focused on success and those markers of success coming from quick results or rapid growth, or always looking for that dollar conversion, like the ROI, the follower count, the what's your conversion rate, all of these things that, yes, have a place within business to understand these concepts and to be aware of numbers within our soul work, right? Like that is a whole part of the divine masculine and within our businesses. However, because that has been such a driving force, I believe is what has kind of typically driven a wedge between the process of like learning or receiving a transmission and embodying it. It's like driven that wedge where the embodiment is, because it's kind of it's been that traditional entrepreneurship style of the quick wins, the quick gains, the celebration of rapid growth, right? Like you think how much, particularly the media celebrates, businesses or individuals, entrepreneurs who have achieved some 7 or 8 figure step within their business seemingly overnight, or they've had 500% growth this quarter. And there's all these taglines that go along with it. And I think that's what has driven this process of a lack of embodiment, even if it hasn't been consciously a conscious decision, I should say. So this is really where we move beyond just entrepreneurship, right? And we move where someone might be teaching, let's say something that is a very black and white businessy kind of playbook, right? It might be a marketing playbook like grow your Instagram audience in the next 30 days or something like that is very entrepreneurship and fucking amazing. Like I myself have been through, many different variations of programs over my journey that have been in more of that bro marketing world before I really stepped into being a soulpreneur, being a spiritual entrepreneur, kind of coming out of the spiritual closet, right? Like there was a lot of years in my own business where I stayed kind of firmly in that very safe lane of, I just need to focus on learning how to grow Instagram, right? Like completely missing the point of what my business needed or what my soul needed. So we're moving beyond that entrepreneurship kind of tagline and when we move beyond that into soulpreneurship, we're suddenly in a space where we have incredible intuitives and healers and, spiritual leaders and witchy women, going about sharing their unique magic. And the two realms aren't really that comparable. We can't compare entrepreneurship to soulpreneurship in the same way, especially if you have, the kind of early stage soulpreneurs who are still in that, there's kind of shifting away from that mainstream entrepreneurship path. I think that's where we get the murkiness around embodiment, because in that entrepreneurship space, as I say, it is less about embodiment and more about just creating something that fills a gap in the market or speaks to a pain point. You might have heard all of these sort of very bro marketing terms. And at the end of the day, if you are still kind of almost like deconditioning from that mentality, of course, that's going to influence your lack of embodiment, for want of a better word, right? Maybe your lack of awareness about how important embodiment is might be the case for people who are in that kind of almost gray area. So the practice what you preach aspect is so crucial to soulpreneurship. And that's why, with this session, I really want to get into it for talking about your human design and that embodiment piece. So, at the end of the day, how many times have you seen someone, and you might follow this person and dearly love them, and I mean, I have many spiritual soulpreneurs and leaders and mentors in my space that probably at some point in their journey have had this. And I know, if any of you know my background, I come from a complete entrepreneurship meltdown, 80-hour weeks, being complete. This is pre-HD, pre-human design Rose. And that was my experience, right, of being in that space of complete overwhelm, burnout, spinning my wheels, not being able to get anything off the ground, and all of those things. And so there are going to be people that maybe follow online, or maybe you've worked with, that might be looking from the outside, they might seem to have it all, right? Like they might be the multiple six-figure spiritual business owner, rapidly expanding their social media following, seemingly effortlessly, always with the sold out programs or the pre-sale that sells out before they've even spoken about it, all of these things, right? And very occasionally you will see someone actually kind of open up and talk about how burnt out they are and talk about how overwhelmed they are. And in very, very rare cases, they might actually admit where things kind of all went pear-shaped or all, say, went wrong during a launch, or when they were hosting something they weren't energetically a match for, and what that experience was like for them. But I'll say that it's usually only, if that ever comes up, it's usually only ever done as a kind of look back reflection. It's never really shared openly in the moment. The way I see it is that what this is doing is it's perpetuating a cycle of a lack of embodiment, because of the fact that what is being promoted and sold is actually just a veneer over the reality behind the scenes, right? There isn't actually a embodiment of what is being promoted and sold, because it is being kind of projected as this is the thing to help you, with whatever problem that is being solved or whatever desire is being fulfilled as a, spiritual woman or someone who is on their self-development journey. And then when you find out like 3, 4, 5, 6 months later that actually that person who is teaching all of these, self-love and compassion and, spirituality concepts was actually showing up in their business in a way that was, heavily in the masculine, or completely burning themselves out, or, not actually practicing anything that they had just been teaching about. It's like this veneer, and it's not, as I say, I don't think it's done with any kind of malice. I think it is just purely the fact that it is that deconditioning from the traditional entrepreneurship energetics and conditioning that we've, so many of us have come through with, especially if we have been, if we have been working for ourselves for quite some time, or even if we have come from, a 9-to-5 type corporate world, right? There is so many layers of deconditioning that come with that. So, that's why the reason that I'm sharing about this in today's session is to really empower you to know that working with your human design is where the embodiment comes in, and it's just so incredibly important for your abundant as fuck soul calling business and life, so that you can know you are walking the walk and not just talking the talk and wondering why things aren't shifting for you, right? It's knowing that you are in your golden zone, receiving the abundance that is yours and is already on its way to you, right? Remember yesterday, as part of the mindset piece, we were talking about the fact that the universe has got it all sitting there. It's just that you are in that process of deconditioning and living your human design and getting to the place with your mindset that you know that things are already on their way to you, and it's just your job to be vibrating and resonating at that frequency that is a match for your desires. And so much of the mindset piece is also getting clear on your desires, for a start off, because of, again, conditioning and other factors that can come in that leave us sort of manifesting from a place that isn't actually our truth, right? And so that's where the embodiment comes in for that process of actually, being the match for our desires. Oh yeah, I hope you loved that little snippet behind the scenes peek into the vibe of Abundant as Fuck. Remember, the link to get access to the full shebang, over 6 hours of mindset, embodiment, containership training around your human design, and workbooks to help you and empower you to integrate your abundant as fuck soul calling, work, business, life, all the things. Link is in the show notes with this episode. And second thing to remember, most importantly, is that if you want to come and be part of Cosmic Imprint Coven membership, doors are now open, and they will be open until March 18th, 2022. And the link to come and join and find all the details and get in the vibe is also in the show notes with this episode. Thank you so much, as always, for joining me. I love you so much, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode, Goddess.